Welcome to DermTV Viewer Question Week for January 2013. Today's episode will feature questions from DermTV.com viewers. And don't forget, as part of Viewer Question Week, I'll be answering viewer questions over live streaming video at BeautyRxLive.com. So if you have a question, tune in this Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hello, I'm Dr. Neil Schultz, and welcome to DermTV. Today's first question comes from Josh. Hi, I'm currently on Accutane. I've been on it for almost 2 months. I barely have any acne left. Go Josh. But my question is, I have red marks and Icepick scarring on my T-zone and wondering if they will go away after I'm finished with Accutane. They were already there before I started Accutane as well. Josh, the Icepick scars are not going to go away as a result of taking Accutane, and the reality is the only thing that really effectively treats Icepick scars is surgically removing them. Even my beloved lasers and my topical glycolic is not going to make a big difference for Icepick scars, and you need to have them removed. In terms of the redness, that was either there before you started the Accutane, or even redness from pimples that you got during Accutane. That redness will all go away as time goes on. And the reason you have the redness is because that's the body increasing blood flow to help repair damage done by the acne. At a certain point, when the body's done everything it can to repair that damage, it shuts down the enlarged blood vessels, which is why you see the redness, and the redness goes away. And at a certain point, if it's persisting unnecessarily long, topical cortisone creams from a dermatologist can help reduce that redness even faster. Good luck with your Accutane. The next question comes from Claudia, and she says, I wanted to know if I stop using the hydroquinone 4%, will the hyperpigmentation come back, or do I need to use it forever? Thanks in advance for your help, an appreciative follower. Well, thank you, Claudia. Claudia, it depends on what you use the hydroquinone for. So if you're using it for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, which means the brown that comes from skin having been injured, and then after the injury it turned darker, then as a result of bleaching it with the hydroquinone, if there's no more injury, the brown won't come back. But if you're using it for a condition like melasma or chloasma, which is caused by unusual sensitivity of pigment cells to ultraviolet damage or any other damage, and you effectively take care of your brown, and then you stop the hydroquinone and you go out in the sun again and you get more ultraviolet injury because you haven't used sunscreen, then it's going to come back and you're going to have to use the hydroquinone again. So it really depends on what was the cause of the brown that you were treating, and does the cause continue after you've stopped the hydroquinone. Kai asks, how can I get rid of those stubborn seed-like closed comedones? They last for months, and if I touch them, they turn into large, painful cysts. Help. Kai, I guess that's a reason not to pick at pimples or rub them. The reality is these closed comedones are very difficult for you to get rid of. The most effective way you can do it at home is just with ongoing exfoliation. And of course, as you know, I think that the gold standard for exfoliation is glycolic acid. Although many over-the-counter acne preparations work on the basis of salicylic acid, 2% being the active ingredient. And that's good also. I don't think it does as good of a job of exfoliating as salicylic acid does. But that really is the most that you can do at home. It's not a good idea to push on these because, as you found out, since they're closed when you push on them, the material inside has no way to get out. And as a result, you cause an injury, and that's what causes the swelling. If ongoing exfoliation doesn't help you, then it's time to see either a dermatologist to have them opened, or these can really be managed by a good facialist. Maybe you don't have to see a doctor. Maybe you can just go to a salon and have a facialist pop them out for you. But please don't push on them because you've already found out what happens when you do. Christina says, how can you get rid of freckles? Christina, a lot of young ladies want to know how you can get rid of freckles. Now, I know that Christina is between the ages of 18 and 29. So I know that what she's talking about are real freckles, the freckles that she inherited from her mother and father, The freckles that are sort of there all the time on her face, but they get a lot darker after the summer when she's had a lot of sunlight, even with sunscreen, and then they fade a little bit over the winter. She's not talking about age spots, which are liver spots, which are very different and occur in older people on the basis of accumulated sun damage. These are the real deal. These are real freckles. Christina, you're not going to get rid of your freckles. There is no way that you can get rid of your freckles. Even if I use my lasers that take care of brown pigmentation, they're not going to destroy the melanocytes, which are the pigment cells that are making the extra pigment that supply the brown that causes your freckles and that causes the extra brown after ultraviolet injury. Unfortunately, you really can't get rid of freckles. So you may as well, and I say this with compassion, you may as well get used to them because you're not going to really be able to get rid of your freckles. So, and of course you can use makeup to cover them, but you're just not going to find any cream that's going to make them go away and stay away. Then we have Abigail saying, 5 months ago I had gallbladder removal surgery. However, since late November, which by the way is 2 months ago, so I'll inject that that's 3 months after Abigail's surgery, her hair started to fall out abnormally to the point where it got super thinner. I don't know if it's because of that or something is going wrong in my scalp. Abigail, what you're experiencing is very common after surgery, not just gallbladder, any type of surgery in which you have general anesthesia. And it's the same phenomenon that happens after women have a baby. The stress and the trauma of the surgery causes a resetting of all of the hair follicles. And 3 to 4 months later, and yours happened in the 3rd month, 3 to 4 months later, all of those hair follicles go into the sleeping phase, and they all lose their hair. They all stop growing. The hair from them all falls out simultaneously. So instead of losing 5 to 10% of your hairs and having them replaced in a normal sequence, which you don't notice, you're all of a sudden losing 30, 40, or 50%, which is very obvious, and that's what's happened to you. But don't worry, they're all going to come back. Because in 3 to 6 months, those hair follicles are going to wake up again. And when they do, all of the ones that went to sleep and caused this abnormal shedding are all going to start to regrow at the same time. You're going to get all of this hair back, and there won't be any residual hair loss. It's got nothing to do with any scalp condition. It has to do with the trauma that occurred during the general anesthesia for your gallbladder surgery. So hang on, your hair is coming back. Today's last question comes from Nalrak, and Nalrak says, she says, does tomato help cure acne, remove acne scars, and minimize pores? I will tell you that I'm not aware of tomato helping cure acne, and certainly it won't remove acne scars, and certainly it won't minimize pores. But the reason I want to discuss this question is because you all, we all, as consumers, have an obligation to do a certain amount of reality testing when we hear allegations about this product doing this or that food doing that. And we have to use a certain amount of common sense. But the bottom line is, if something really sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't. So there really aren't any magic bullets. There really aren't any miracle cures in terms of things that do accomplish things and give you benefits that just sound outlandish. So I would ask all of you just to think about some of the promises that some products make, and you may wind up saving yourself a lot of money. So that's it for today. And don't forget, the subjects from so many DermTV episodes come from your questions, which are great. So please keep sending them in, and I'll keep answering as many of them as I can. Please join me again at dermtv.com. If you have a question, please send it to me by visiting dermtv.com/question. I'm Dr. Neil Schultz, and thank you for watching today.